Hi, hello, hey. In this video, I'm going to be painting the line art of this drawing using my watercolors and some gouache because I was having some problems. But hey, it turns out okay, and I'm going to be fixing that line art mistake I made in my last video. So these are the art supplies I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using some miscellaneous paint brushes, and I'm going to be using my Holbein watercolors mostly. And I'm also using this little tiny watercolor palette that is like a Altoids mint tin that I put random colors in, and a couple of these are Daniel Smith colors. I really like using the little watercolor palettes for videos because it fits in the frame so you can see it. And I'm also going to be using this little mixing palette that I feel like I always use with that little Holbein watercolor palette, probably because it doesn't really have a big mixing space, but I just think that's funny because sometimes when I'm using a different paint, I'll clean off the mixing area because I don't want the colors to get messed up. But since these are the same paints, I'm not going to clean them off. So here is the little colored, I don't know, concept sketches, I guess. So that's how I'm going to be coloring these drawings. Also, last week's video was the sketch and line art for this painting, so if you want to see me doing the sketch and the line art, then yeah, you can check it out. It's in the description. I don't know if I said that already. The line art, I kind of hated it when I first did it, but I used a brush, so it's a little bit thicker than I was planning, but I kind of love it, so I'm happy that I ended up using a brush. Now I can talk about the struggles of this painting, okay? Oh, also this video, I sped it up super fast because this was a long process. So right now it's normal speed, but you'll notice later it's super duper sped up just because this painting was a process. So pay attention to the girl on the left, pay attention to her face and how the paint dries. And also the girl on the right, look at her leg. Look at how splotchy it is. And that wasn't me. That's the paper. It for some reason, especially on the skin tone, which is not what you want looking splotchy. But it was my paint was drying that on the paper. It was awful. I thought I was gonna have to restart this painting. And I just kept working on it. And I was maybe it'll get better because I don't want to restart. So I thought I was gonna have to trace the line art onto a new piece of paper, which wouldn't have been that bad. I have a light box, which is a little thing that has a light. It's a flat light, so you can trace paper and line art and stuff. So if I got too bad, I was prepared to just trace the line art onto a new piece of paper. But luckily, I fixed it in the end. This painting has a long, ugly stage. Just a warning, but it gets better, okay? I fixed it eventually. I still don't know what was happening with this paper. So this paper is, I think it's the Stonehenge cotton paper, and this is the cold press one. I haven't used cold press paper in a long time. It used to be my go-to, but I started using hot press because I heard it was better for portraits. And because I got some hot press paper for an art class, I started using it. And now I like hot press paper better, but I still have some cold press because I buy hot press now, but I haven't used this watercolor block yet, so I still had it from, I think this is probably 2 years old. I don't think it's not that old. I think it's 2 years max old. I think it's one of my newer watercolor blocks, but it's cold press, which I don't buy anymore, so probably 2 years old. But anyway, I haven't used it in a really long time, but it was the perfect size for this painting, so I decided to use it even though I haven't used cold press in a long time. So at first I was oh, maybe it's just I'm just doing something wrong because I haven't used cold press in a long time. But when was it ever blotchy like this? And I use watercolors a lot, okay? So I know that wasn't me. I wasn't making it blotchy. That was the paper. I'm thinking, I don't know if this would have helped, but I know a lot of artists, they'll do a layer of water on the paintings when they start, so they get smoother blends. So I don't know if that would have helped, but I have no idea, actually. Maybe I'll try that next time I use this paper, even though I'm probably not gonna use this paper again. I think I'll use this paper for just, like, maybe doing, like, some, like, experimental portraits or something, and not for, like, paintings like this. Because, yeah, I did not enjoy using this. It also, I hate when paper does this, but it was, like, sucking up all the paints, and the paints were drying, like, way lighter than when they were wet. So I've used so much paint on this, like, painting, and it just kept, like sucking it up. And then I kept having to go over the paint to make it darker because I wanted the colors darker. And then there was a couple times where I made the color too dark because I knew it was going to dry lighter, so then I made it too dark, and then it dried too dark. And since the skin was so blotchy, I mixed white into the skin tone to make it more opaque to try to cover up the blotchiness, which it did cover that up, but it made the skin tones, like, super muddy. So, yeah, the colors were all muddy. And also, like I said, since, like, the paper was, like, sucking up all the color, a lot of the colors appeared super desaturated, which was really confusing because, like, some watercolors are just kind of, like, not that bright, but, like, Holbein colors are pretty light, pretty bright. They're pretty saturated, so it was really weird. I was like, what is happening? I also kind of messed up with the brown. I used, like, the brown that was already on, like, the mixing palette, so I didn't, like, mix my own brown, but, like, the color, like, for their, like, belts and stuff, that brown was already on the mixing palette, and it was not actually the brown I was picturing. I was picturing more of, like, a warm brown, but then I used that one, and I guess it kind of worked out because it doesn't blend in with the girl on the left's, like, skin tone, so I guess that, like, worked out. But yeah, that was not the plan, and I was kind of freaking out about that, but it turned out okay. And now I'm filling in the first checkerboard. I sped this up so much, like, checkerboard pattern, that's what you call this, right? Checker pattern. I sped it up so much because I was going so slow. I almost never draw patterns. I was gonna say never. I'm drawing a pattern right now. I almost never draw patterns on clothes because they take forever and it's so annoying, especially stinking checkerboard pattern. I do not enjoy it. Like, it's simple enough when you're sketching it, but then, like, when you're, like, you know, coloring, I don't know, it's just annoying. It takes too long. Like, at least it's, like, you know, kind of easy. Like, it looks easy, but it takes forever. I think I also just don't like it because I mess it up a lot. I didn't mess it up on the clothes this time, though, so that's good. So in my last video, when I was doing the sketching, I talked about how easy the boots were to draw, and I, like, somehow had forgotten how many times I've drawn shoes exactly like that. So when I went to sketch them, I got really scared, but then I was like, oh yeah, I've drawn this exact same shoe a gazillion times. So it was really easy, but all the time of working on those shoes came out during the painting process. I kept layering the brown, because, like I said, the brown wasn't what I was picturing. So yeah, I didn't spend that much time drawing the shoes, but I did spend a lot of time painting the shoes. This painting was so funny because, like, on top of how I wanted to, like, totally restart when, like, the painting started turning out bad, I also, like, when I first had, like, the idea to do this painting, I only actually, like, did the painting because I didn't have any other ideas, and I was like, well, this idea is good enough, but I thought it was kind of, like, stupid. I thought it was a stupid idea. I was like, meh. But now that I've finished it, I think it's actually, like, really cute, and I like it, so I think it's funny. I was like, that's dumb. That's not very interesting. But I think it turned out really cute. So I don't know why I thought it was such a dumb idea, but I like it in the end. Also, appreciate the hair shading. I ended up, like, going over the hair to make it darker, and I got rid of a lot of the shading on accident. So that's kind of sad, but here's what it looks like for now. And now I'm doing the checkerboard pattern on this dress. And this one, as you can imagine, took a lot longer because, you know, there's a lot more of it. I also didn't speed it up as much. I left the same speed as the rest of the painting. The other one, when I did, like, the black and white dress, I sped it up, like, a lot more than, like, the rest of this video. But this one, I left it the same speed just so you could see how long it takes. It took forever. I did not enjoy drawing the little boxes, but it was fine. I ended up starting this movie, but then the movie wasn't very good, so I never finished the movie. I'm not gonna finish that movie, but yeah. Also, fun fact about this painting is I'm like barely gonna get this video out on time, and not even like on time, just like I normally like to post videos in the middle of the day. This is gonna be towards like the end of the day because I'm editing the video right now today as I want to post this. But anyway, I was giving myself just such a hard time like with this video. I was like, oh no, I'm like taking forever. I'm like not gonna be able to get it out on time, and like, why is this taking me so long to finish this painting? And then I was thinking about it and I was like, you know, I think you just forgot how long it takes to do like a 2-person big watercolor paintings. I haven't been doing as many bigger paintings recently, so I think I just kind of forgot how long it takes. So it does kind of make sense that it took me a longer time than usual because I am drawing 2 people and it is a big watercolor painting that I put a lot of detail into. So yes, it does in fact make sense that it took longer. Also, I decided to use gold for all of like the metal and stuff. I thought it would be like cool and it would like look like cohesive between the 2 of them. And also I just didn't know what color to make like the jewelry and stuff. So I was like, how about I just make it gold? And now I'm doing the background. So when I was doing the sketch for this, I had an idea to put like a blue checkerboard in the background, and I made like a little like area like sectioned off where I wanted to put it. But then I thought it would like mix with their outfits too much and you wouldn't be able to like, they wouldn't stand out. So I thought it wouldn't work. So then I like erased the line, and then like I was working on this like doing the painting, and I was like, wait, maybe I do want that. And then I was like, can you still see the line? Because that line actually, like the background, like the 2 lines I put like where I wanted the checkerboard to be, that was like the first lines I think I added to the sketch. Like it was one of the first things I drew. But yeah, I'm happy that I got it back, or that I could still see it, I mean, because I think it turned out cool. So then I'm doing the top part, and I ended up doing like I don't even know what this is called, but you know, watercolor, bunch of colors blurred together thing for the background. Also, don't pay attention to how the checkerboard in the background like isn't even. I literally measured it. I used like centimeters, I think, so each row was like a centimeter, but then like somehow it still came out uneven. So I don't even like know how that happened. No, it was like the same. I measured it and everything. I don't know, but it's fine. And I was thinking the white with the blue was looking too much like a kitchen or something. So I made like the white part the same color as the background, which I think looks so cool. I spent a lot. You don't even know. I'm so done with seeing checkerboard patterns after this. Like I did the blue, I did the pink dress and the black dress, and I did the blue background, and then I painted the white part because it was looking bad. And see, now it looks like a cool background pattern and not like they're in front of like a kitchen or something. And now I had this cool idea to shade like their sleeves to be like opposite colors. So the girl on the left, I shaded hers with like blue/purple, and then the girl on the right, I shaded hers with pink, you know, so they like be the opposite of each other and be like have each other's colors on their outfit. I wanted to do the opposites thing a lot. So I gave them like opposite feather colors, and also because it matched their outfit, and also like their necklaces. I feel that's like an obvious opposite one. One has a moon, one has like a sun. And now I'm getting out the gouache. I'm getting out the good gouache. I got out the Holbein gouache. I haven't used my Holbein gouache in so long. Also, I didn't plan for this, but it's kind of funny. I used Holbein watercolors and then Holbein gouache. And I'm getting out my little gouache, little mixing palette. And I'm adding the highlights. So I did the girl on the left, the pink girl first. Oh, and I gave her nails too. I ended up giving them both nails. I forgot to do that when I was doing the line art. But yeah, I feel like they needed some cool long nails. So when I was doing the girl on the left highlights, I gave her like very light yellow highlights for her skin, you know, so it wouldn't be as crazy as white. But I think I ended up going over a lot of the highlights with white to make sure you could see them. And I also highlighted her eyelashes and like the side of her face to make it stand out. And her hair, of course, very important. And now I'm doing a white line around the characters, so they stand out, which this drawing, it's literally like the exact same like style and techniques as I used to do, like the black line art, the white like thing around them. It's such like a drawing like in the style that I used to use a couple years ago, but it's like the better / updated version. And also, for some reason, my like gouache wasn't being very opaque, so I had to like do like the lines around them like multiple times. Like each area, I had to like go over it like 3 times sometimes. But it's okay. It turned out cool. And I did like doing the outlines around them because I was really tired while I was working on this. So, and I didn't really want to like do it. I'm so tired right now. So, doing like the line art around was kind of like a brainless like step. I just had to like, trace around it. So, I didn't mind doing it too much. Like when I did the checkerboard for the background, that was like basically like one day. That's like all I did was like the background, because that took me so long to like measure it out and stuff and like color it. I also think it just mentally exhausted me and made me kind of mad. So there's that too. Half of this video is me complaining about the stinking checkerboard pattern. I knew it was gonna be annoying. Okay, I knew it. But yeah. I'm adding a bunch of sparkles, very important. And I can't tell if I've done this yet. I'm doing it right now. But for the jewelry, I added pink and blue on it, so like on the gold, kind of give it something. And also like, metal like reflects things. So, it's like realistic that way, I guess. And now I'm working on the girl on the right's face with the gouache. I had this idea, because I kind of did it on accident, to give her like white wings. Like white wing eyeliner, but I ended up ditching that, but I leave it there for a while, but I get rid of it eventually. I also decided that her like light pink lipstick ended up like looking really cute, so I ended up leaving it. I think the paint was just drawing like really light, like it was for like this whole drawing, because normally I give my characters like red or like hot pink lips a lot, just because like that's the lip colors that I like, but I thought like the pastel pink looked really pretty, so I ended up leaving it. And now I'm adding, this is like a pretty subtle detail, so you probably like won't be able to tell unless I tell you, but I'm making the laces on the purple girl is like shoes. I'm making them pink so it matches other girl, and then the other girl I'm going to give her purple laces. I also went over that line on her leg with gouache that I messed up on in the line art stage. So yeah, you can't see it anymore. I did end up fixing it. And I added lots and lots of sparkles. Very important. So now I'm adding to the background again. And surprisingly, this was the only point that I actually had to get more paints from the gouache tubes. Like the rest of the paint that was in there was actually like the right colors. And all of the paint like re-wetted super well. It's been a long time since I've used my Holbein paints. I forgot like how good they are. I've been using my Himi Mia gouache a lot recently. I just always forget how much nicer these ones are compared to those. So yeah, and the reason I'm outlining the squares is because when I did the purpley squares, it bled into the blue ones. And I wanted it to look more defined, so I outlined them. And I ended up using a thicker brush because like it bled into them a lot. But I like how the thicker defined thing looks. And I thought the blue color was really pretty, and I mixed like way too much of it. So I was like, maybe I'll just, paint a page in my sketchbook so I can sketch on top of it. I thought it was a really pretty color. So yeah, it's a little random, but I did do that. I'm also not mad that I didn't get like the blue to match the watercolor blue perfectly, because I think actually like the darker outline around the background squares looks really cool. Like adds to it, adds to the detail. And then I decided to make the pirate hat sparkly. So if I'm going to add sparkle to anything, I should be to the pirate hats, They're cool. They should have sparkles. And then I had a bunch of this like brown, like this warm brown color in the palette. And I thought it would be a really cool idea to add like some like swirls to all of the brown. And then I mixed like a darker pink so I could add swirls to the pink hat as well. But yeah, I mean, it might look a little costumey, like the swirls, but it can be a costume, okay? And also, I think the swirls look cool. And they're not super, like, there, but if you, like, you know, look at it, you'll see them. So I think that's cool. It's, like, detail, but you might not even notice that at first. Also, the textured paper, I feel like, did end up looking cool. I didn't like it when I first started using it, you know, because it had the splotches on the skin tones. But I do think, paintings on textured paper, it does, you know, it has a nice, like, look to it. I do like the way it looks. But yeah, I still don't want to use this paper again. I'll use it for, like, some experiments. But yeah, I don't know why it was so blotchy. That was so annoying. But I fixed it in the end, you know, I ended up making it look cool. I also added a bunch of, like, little dots to their, like, eyes to make it look like they had, like, sparkly eyeshadow on. And now I'm signing it, very important. And don't worry, soon I will show the zoomed in finished picture and the zoomed out, you know, all the details and stuff. Yeah, so now I'm taking it off the watercolor block. So there's a little section at the side where it's, like, not glued. Then I just take a palette knife in there to take the sheet of paper off. And for some reason, here's another annoyance to this paper, is luckily I didn't tear the paper when I was taking it off. That's happened to me before, and it's so sad. But a lot of, like, the glue, like, was still stuck to the paper once I got it off. So I spent a long time, like, peeling the glue off the edges. I also thought it was kind of, interesting at the background. I feel like it looks very, like, modern, you know? But then, like, they're wearing, like, pirate outfits. So I thought that was kind of funny. It's another opposite in the drawing. I didn't do that on purpose, but I like it, you know? And now I'm adding the date to the back of the drawing. I always like to do this, you know? It's a good idea. And yeah, here is the finished painting. I'm showing you the details. And I do try to show the gold, so you can see that it's, like, a metallic paint and, like, slightly shiny. But it wasn't really, like, being shiny when I tried to show it. But just know that the gold is metallic. It's slightly shiny. I think my favorite part of this painting is, like, the eyeshadow. Like, look how sparkly it looks. I think it looks so pretty. And I really like the background, too. So I guess it was worth painting those squares a gazillion times. Oh, also, sorry, my hand is, like, in the corner of this shot. I didn't feel like filming it again. I didn't notice that till after I was done, so just ignore that. But yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will have last week's video linked in the description, and I will see you next week with another video. And for bonus points, subscribe, like, comment, check out my Redbubble store in the description for art merchandise, you know, stickers and prints and things. Bye!